I was always a curious boy. I loved to explore, and my favorite place to explore was the attic in our house. It was full of old things.
One day, Timmy found something amazing in the attic. It was a dusty old book hidden behind a trunk. The book was filled with strange diagrams and notes.
I was fascinated. I couldn't understand the words, but the diagrams looked like plans for a machine. A very special machine.
This machine, the book claimed, could travel through time. Timmy was both excited and skeptical. Could time travel really be possible? He spent days studying the book, trying to decipher the strange symbols. He even researched old languages at the library.
Slowly, I started to understand. The book was real. It held the secret to building a time machine. I knew I had to try it. Building a time machine seemed like an impossible task, but I was determined.
Timmy spent weeks gathering parts for his time machine. He used old radios, clocks, and even parts from his dad's car. He followed the book's instructions carefully.
I worked day and night, cutting, soldering, and assembling. My room became a mess of wires and metal.
Finally, after weeks of tireless effort, the time machine was complete. It looked like a strange capsule with blinking lights and spinning dials.
I was nervous and excited. This was it. I was about to embark on the adventure of a lifetime.
He climbed into the capsule, took a deep breath, and flipped the activation switch. The time machine whirred and sputtered, lights flashed, and Timmy felt a lurch in his stomach. When he opened his eyes, he was in a whole new world. Gone was his room and the familiar sights of home. Instead, he saw rolling hills, forests, and a magnificent castle in the distance.
I was in medieval times. I spent days exploring this fascinating era. I watched knights practice jousting. I saw skilled artisans crafting armor and weapons. I even learned a few words of their language.
Timmy felt like he had stepped straight into a history book, but he also realized that life in the past wasn't always easy. The people were struggling with poverty and illness.
I felt a pang of sympathy for them.
One day, while exploring a nearby forest, disaster struck. Timmy's time machine malfunctioned. He couldn't get it to start. He was stranded in the medieval era with no way to get back home.
Fear gripped my heart. I felt completely alone and lost. I didn't know what to do or who to turn to for help.
Days turned into nights. Timmy tried everything he could to fix the time machine, but nothing worked. He was starting to lose hope.
I missed my family, my friends, and my own time. I realized that tampering with time had consequences.
Just when Timmy was about to give up hope, he met a group of traveling tinkerers.
They were fascinated by my stories of the future.
With their help, Timmy was finally able to repair his time machine.
I was overjoyed. Thank you so much. I promise to visit you again.
Before returning to his own time, Timmy decided to take a quick trip to the future.
I wanted to see what advancements humanity would make.
He programmed the time machine, and with another lurch, he found himself in a gleaming metropolis unlike anything he had ever seen.
Wow. Skyscrapers touched the clouds. Flying cars zoomed through the air, and robots performed tasks for humans.
It was a world of incredible technology and progress.
Section 6. The Butterfly Effect. I spent a few days in the future. I was amazed by the technological marvels surrounding me. I met friendly people who showed me their world, but something felt wrong. People spoke of a great calamity in their past, a disruption in the flow of time.
They blamed a mysterious boy who appeared out of nowhere, claiming to be from the past. Timmy realized with a jolt that he was that boy. His time travels had unintended consequences. His presence in the past had altered the future, creating a ripple effect that led to disaster.
Section 7. Racing against time. I knew I had to fix things. I couldn't leave the future in jeopardy because of my actions. I had to restore the timeline. I returned to my time machine and set the controls for the medieval era. I needed to undo whatever alterations I had made.
He remembered a small incident where he had saved a young girl from a runaway cart. It seemed insignificant then, but now he realized that even the smallest actions could have big consequences. He had to let the accident happen as it was supposed to. It was a difficult decision, but Timmy knew it was the right one. He returned to the exact moment and watched with a heavy heart as history unfolded as it should.
Section 8. Back to the present.
With the timeline seemingly corrected, I returned to my present. I dismantled the time machine, carefully packing the book and the plans away in the attic. I knew the dangers of tampering with time. I had learned valuable lessons about responsibility and the interconnectedness of all things.
He realized that his place was in his own time, with his family and friends, but he also knew that his sense of adventure wouldn't fade. He had tasted the thrill of time travel, and the memories of his experiences would stay with him forever.
Section 9. The future awaits. I continued to explore, but now my explorations were confined to the present. I learned new things, made new friends, and always kept my eyes open for the next big adventure. I knew that the world was full of wonders, even without time travel.
And as he looked up at the stars at night, he couldn't help but wonder if one day he might just rebuild that time machine and embark on new, even more incredible adventures. The future he knew was full of possibilities.